Hello and welcome to another episode of Nerds with Badges. It is September the 8th, and I tell you, this year is just flying by. It's hard to believe. Christmas is right around the corner. I'm here at work. Well, I'm an hour before my shift, which is, I prefer to get here early enough so I can just relax, have me a cup of coffee, and eating these chocolate covered salted almonds. These things are so good. Sometimes they leave goodies here, for people. It's really nice, when you have a workplace, so people actually leave snacks and things for people. It reminds me of my mother used to have this ice cream that she used to eat. It was it was butter almond or something, but it was like chocolate covered almonds, Haagen-Dazs, I think it was. I used to sneak in the refrigerator and eat it, and try to, be sneaky about how I would, put the spoon in there to try to, so it wouldn't look like I was eating a lot. Or, maybe my mother would look at it and be like, wasn't there more in here? Not really know for sure. I try to be sneaky, but they always know. So anyway, I really had a last couple of weeks have been really crazy. I had, I don't know if it was the flu or what, man, but I was really out of it. I ended up being out. I took 3 days off of work, so I had like 5 days. I was down for like 5 days, and I didn't go to the hospital or anything because they really don't want you to go when you have like flu-like symptoms, or anything like that. I had a headache, didn't really have much of an appetite. I had chills, hot and cold flashes. It was crazy. I was just sweating like crazy, and I'm just still kind of recovering. But man, I think I caught it from one of my coworkers. But I used like all my sick days. So like a few of the days. Like I think I went over 4 hours or something like that. So like 4 hours of the time that I had off, I'm not getting paid for, or something like that. And a few months ago, I hurt my arm, so I'm still dealing with that. And I got to get my glasses next week, and I also got to get some dental work. So they say when it rains, it pours, or it's always something. It literally is always something. But I've been basically prolonging getting my glasses for the longest. Is something I need to go ahead and do. As I tried to some years ago, I tried to play the PlayStation VR, and I couldn't even, some of the text I couldn't even read. Sometimes the text being a certain color, I've noticed if text is a certain color, it will be harder to make out. But yeah, I got to get some dental work done too, and I some real extensive stuff like root canal, which is like really expensive. So all that, in addition to all the other stuff that I'm doing, like my projects, my comics that I'm working on, my cartoon, my film project, which is stalled. I'm still working on the script, but I may have an artist do some anime type stuff for me. I feel like animation is actually something that is could be feasible. I mean, live action stuff. I used to have 4 different web series on YouTube years ago, and it was superhero stuff, and it was starting to get really expensive doing costumes and special effects and stuff. And I want to get back into doing live action stuff, but I don't know. It's like I got to think about it because I don't have any investors. I just haven't really had much luck in that department. I see some stuff that gets done, and I'm like, wow, how do they get funding for that? It's incredible. Uh, but I think Hollywood, even the video gaming industry needs to start taking chances with new and original stuff. But anyway, I want to get to what I really wanted to talk about, which was this new game I got for my Switch 2, which I got it in the mail. I think it came Saturday. In the mail, and I was able to play a little bit of it. And I had to dash off to a doctor's appointment, so I was able to do a video, and I spent a lot of time, of course. I love character creation in video games. I love the fact that a lot of games now let you create characters, that look more like you, or that or you can just make your own characters. I think that's really cool. This really reminds me a lot of a game. This was a toy I used to have when I was a kid. I think it was called Mighty Monster Man or Mighty Monster Maker, and you had these tiles, and you'd have the legs, the torso, and the heads, and you could mix and match and make, so I've always been fascinated by being able to just create stuff like that, and that was a real cool toy. I've been trying to find it, actually. I think I found one on Amazon, but it was really, really expensive, like a lot of those older toys I grew up playing. But I spent a lot of time playing, making my character. Now, I played a demo of this on the PlayStation 5 a while ago, and I briefly remember playing a little bit of part 1 of this, which I actually forgot that I had part 1 of Daemon X Machina. I pronounced it right, Daemon. Epic is amazing. As you know, if you play PC games, there's Epic and then there's Steam. Epic gives away free games all the time, and apparently they gave me, I got it free from Epic some time ago, and I completely forgot about it, and I didn't even know I was gonna buy the game. And I don't know, something was like, you need to go and check your backlog, check your library. So I checked Steam, wasn't there. I had the demo on my regular Switch. I didn't have it on Xbox. I think the first game, I don't even know if it came out on anything other than Switch. But I had it on my Epic account. So I just downloaded it because I never played the regular version. So I want to definitely play the first version. I remember it being kind of when I played the demo on the Switch, it was struggling in some areas with frame rate and stuff. Now, this is a lot smoother and looks a lot better. I did notice that there are a lot of wide open areas, and sometimes there's texture pop in, or there's no textures. They had to make some sacrifices. I really wish that Switch they had at least 16 gigs of RAM. I mean, really, so that they could be more on par with the other systems that are out, so the developers wouldn't have to work as hard to get some of these games to run on the hardware. And now the thing is, the key cards, that's become an issue. As the 64 gig cards that the Switch has are not big enough for all of the bigger games to fit, and then it's expensive for the developers to go the cartridge route. So I guess so they only have the only option they have, I guess, is for them to just let you download the game. So you get the card, and the card is not, it looks like a cartridge, I guess, but there's nothing on the card except for when you plug it into your Switch, it recognizes that this is a game that you own, and then it lets you download the game from the internet. So if you get a key card game, and you go home to play it, and you're in an area with no internet connection, you won't be able to do nothing with it until you get an internet connection and you can download it. There's just things about the Switch, things that Nintendo needs to fix, man. They need to work on, because I was trying to play, what game was it? It was a game, my God, what game was it? Damn it, my brain. It was a game that I bought, and I tried to download it and play it on my Switch 2, but I kept getting the message saying I needed to eject the game from my Switch 1 so I could play it on the Switch 2, and my Switch 1 was at work. It was here at work in my locker, so I had to go get my Switch 1, log into the internet, and eject the game, and then I could. It was just weird, because you should just be able to just download the game onto your other Switch and just play it. But they got to do that, just limiting, which is why physical media is so important, because they really can't do stuff like that when you have like cartridges. But digital is just like, really, why can't I play the game on my? So if I lost, what happens if I lose my Switch 1? But yeah, I don't know what game it was. It was Hollow Knight, which is the new one just came out, Silk Song. But yeah, there's just some things that Nintendo's got to fix, man. They got things they got to work on. I love the company. They have some really cool experiences, but they, just like any other company, every company does something that just kind of gets on my nerves. None of them are perfect. So back to this game, I don't know what happened, but it crashed a few times. The first time I tried, I was picking up where I left off at today, and I got a message saying I need to connect to the internet or something, and it got to a level, and then it just was taking forever to load, and then like a second time I was trying to play, it just crashed. So I don't know. I think that happened like maybe two times, and then my recording device was tripping, because I have Nintendo only allows you to record 30 seconds of footage from the Switch 1 or the Switch 2, which is just crazy. At least Xbox, with their tired recording, at least you get 3 minutes. You used to be able to get more on Xbox One. I think you could record up to like 30 minutes at one time. Then it was 15 minutes. Then it was just 5 minutes. So it's still on the Xbox One, you can record like 5 minutes. But on the Xbox Series S and X, you can only record 3 minutes of footage. And on the Steam Deck, that's another. So you're forced to use like other types of devices to record your footage, because on the Steam Deck, you can record long footage, but if your footage is longer than a minute, or if it's got to be like I forget how many megabytes, but if it's too big, you can't just share it. There's no just share it to Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or X. It's just really weird. I don't know, maybe there's some financial reasons why they did it that way, but you can send the file to a PC or to your phone, but it's kind of convoluted, complicated. It's a weird process. It's PlayStation, I got to give it to them. They at least they allow you to record. I think you can record up to 2 hours on your PlayStation 5. I know on PlayStation 4, I think it was about the same. They used to have where you could share directly to Twitter and I think Facebook, as well as YouTube, but now it's just YouTube. And Nintendo used to have where you could share to Twitter and Facebook. Now it's just Facebook. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's some political thing or what happened with X. And Microsoft, you have to put the footage onto the Xbox app, and then you can just get it from there. Or you can just put, like you can do with the PlayStation, you can just plug in a USB thing and then just transfer it and do whatever you want. But I don't know, man. I think it should be the standard where you can just, you can just record as long as you want. Or at least 30 minutes, 15 minutes. So I would even be happy with 15 minutes, if that, because at least that's not just you going over the finish line at the end of, at a match of Mario Kart or something, which is pretty much all you can do on the Switch. And some games don't even let you record. But my recording device was tripping today, so I don't know what the hell. I might have to buy me another recording device. But this game, I was really impressed by the visuals. I think they did a good job with this game. So the fact that Star Wars Outlaws is running so well on the Switch, and Cyberpunk runs really, really well, and Street Fighter, with time and optimization, you can really work some miracles with hardware. Even if there's obviously some limitations. And the other game I've been playing is Chronos, which is I guess I would say it's kind of like Resident Evil in space, or Dead Space meets Resident Evil with some time travel stuff going on. Where you wearing this suit and these monsters are like trying to kill you, and it's all dark and spooky. I played for a minute, well, more than a minute. I think I'm maybe an hour into the game because I think I had started over again. I got stuck at some point. No, it was a boss. It was a monster I was having trouble with. He just kept killing me. But I like the game. I feel like the aiming is a little wonky, and it just takes forever to do like melee attacks. So, but yeah, I think this was $59.99 on the Switch. I don't know if it was cheaper than it was on the Xbox Series and PC and PlayStation. But the aiming, it just feels like it's very floaty. Like the gun was just, I was having trouble aiming. So I don't know, maybe I might need to adjust the settings or something. I mean, I've never had to really do that, honestly. I know some games kind of let you do that. Some older games would let you do that, and it wasn't really a feature I took advantage of. I just pretty much play as it is. And, as a PC gamer, a lot of times I don't really tweak, the settings. I know I should more often, because you get better performance on your PC. Even consoles will let you adjust, graphical settings and stuff, which is amazing to me that video game consoles have become so much like PCs. I think the Xbox, the first Xbox was just PC parts that they just kind of threw together, and it worked, because Halo. I don't even know where Microsoft would be without Halo, which is a franchise. I don't know what they're doing. I just started thinking about Halo. Like, Halo Infinite was really fun. I enjoyed it. I played the story mode. I want to play the Gears of War, which is crazy that Gears of War now is on PlayStation, and Forza is on PlayStation, but Helldivers 2 is also on Xbox now. So only thing left is for Mario to show up in a Xbox game or something. I think that they should do stuff like that, like crossover stuff, because Smash Brothers, has a lot of guest characters in it, and the Sonic racing game that's coming out later this year has got some guest characters in it from other games. And I think that Mario Kart, they should put some other characters from some other, I think it would really be cool if they did that. I mean, I guess just licensing issues or something. Because a game like Kingdom Hearts, for example, which is like a mashup of Disney, Disney and Square, and according to word on the street, that some developers and some Disney people were in an elevator together and they started a conversation or something. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the word on the street about supposedly how Kingdom Hearts. There's another Kingdom Hearts coming. I remember back in 2020, I believe it was, when I saw there was a trailer. It was 2020 or 2021, and there was a little trailer where Sora was running through the city and he's fighting a monster or something. And it's just been kind of I don't know, radio silence since then. Just kind of like Wolverine. Wolverine, we've seen a little teaser with Wolverine, in the bar or whatever, and then we had the little teaser of Blade getting his hair cut. And, I guess those games are coming. I hope they don't cancel. Microsoft has been, got a reputation for canceling stuff. But I know that games take so long now. And the budgets for these games is becoming an issue. The gaming industry is really in a weird place right now. Some people are saying that there's a crash that's coming. I don't want to be that pessimistic. I do think that because Hollow Knight, Silk Song did so well, I think, and I think that it was a very small crew of people that worked on that game, and it was just $20. And you have these games coming out costing like 200, 300 million, and taking 8 years to do. And I know that part of the reason why Xbox and PlayStation are sharing their games now, being more multi-platform, is because like if you spend $200 million on a game, and you spend 8 years working on it, and you put it on one system, and you're barely breaking even, that's going to become a problem. And Sony has been trying to really do a lot of work on these what do you call them, pays, what is the terminology? It's like, I guess the game is free, but you have to pay for like different costumes and levels. I mean, something like Overwatch, or even like Marvel Rivals. They want to do more games like that. And I think Concord, to me it was actually pretty cool. Concord was a Sony game that had been in production for 8 years, and they spent a lot of money on it, and it came out, and like within, I forget if it was a week or two, and they unalived the game. The game doesn't exist anymore. So like I got my $39.99, I think it was, however much I paid for it. Games as a service, I think that's what they're calling these. So that I guess the hope is that people will play these games and buy all these extra costumes and stuff. But the problem with Concord was that people didn't like the way the characters looked, and that's what I got from it. I mean, some of the costume designs were just kind of like they should have had some really cool costumes, and maybe a bigger roster of characters would have helped. I thought it just played like another Overwatch or Marvel Rivals or Fortnite. I didn't think it deserved the hate that it got. I just really hate that Sony didn't really give the game a chance. They just pulled the plug on it. And sometimes, there's a dark side to being to fanboyism. Sometimes it could be the smallest group of people that will be the most vocal, and sometimes companies will try to placate and try to satisfy these people, and it's not possible, because there's always going to be some people complaining about something. They keep changing things, like nerfing and buffing characters in Marvel Rivals, for example. And and then there was some changes in Mario Kart that really pissed off a lot of people. The new Mario Kart that came out. This coffee's just perfect. I'm such a coffee aficionado. So anyway, I'm still waiting for the Nerds with Badges episode to get edited that I shot. It's been 2 weeks now. We shot a really, really cool episode. I had like my co-host and everything, but it's still being edited. So that should be done this week. I don't want to take too long between episodes. I don't want it to take. I got to learn how to edit stuff myself. I got to get to the point where I'm editing my own stuff. And I also want to learn how to do animation. It's a lot easier now with the technology and tools that we have at our disposal. Even, people don't like the AI word, but, AI can even help out with some stuff. Even with video games, which is something I've always wanted to do. At some point I would like to do a video game, but right now my focus is getting the script right that I'm working on. I came up with this concept for Satchwatch some years ago, and Bigfoot, being a hero character, and I had I couldn't find the script. I knew I had the script. It's like I had to really I was like, you know what? I did a script, and all I need to do is maybe go back and work on that script and make some changes. Updates. This is a cool thing about you know when you create stuff, and sometimes you might be kind of like have writer's block or something, and you can get inspiration from something that you wrote years ago, even when you maybe even when you were a kid. You can go and get some. Here's some sketches that this artist did for me of Satchwatch. The character's name is Hento. Actually, Hento is able to transform into a big monster. I mean, it's like this guy's like 2,000 years old. He it's kind of like Captain America. He was in suspended animation for a long time, and he woke up in this time period. So he has to adjust to this time period, and so the Satchwatch, my version of Satchwatch, is radically different from the typical. Looks like a gorilla, but here's some pictures from from the shoot, the Nerds with Badgers shoot that I did, and this is Taz over here. He's going to be my co-host. I want to see if I can get him to go to LA Comic Con, which is coming up later this month. I want to go and do an episode. Maybe get me like a mic and just maybe walk around and maybe interview some of the people that have booths set up. I always wanted to have a booth at Comic Con, but it's expensive. This was years ago. I know people were telling me that it was like $800 to get booths at these conventions. So this is Satchwatch and Mythology Sisterhood. This is a cover for the comic that is coming later this year. I got a lot of different stuff that I'm working on. I got to really start putting my stuff out there and promoting it, because I really don't. I don't think I do a good job of promoting my stuff. I have heard that it would be a good idea for me to start promoting my stuff overseas, and because it may be a bigger, I don't know, man. Here, you put out something, and I'm just gonna come out and say it. A lot of times, you put out characters. If I put out comic books about characters that look like me and that I can relate to, it's just gonna be called woke by some people, and sometimes not. I have some of my stories, not all of them, but some of my characters are LGBT, and that's a problem for some people. I'm aware of that, and I don't know. It's kind of weird because there's a lot of cool things that we take for granted as American citizens, but then there's still some things that maybe other countries might be more. Maybe not such a big deal about. I don't know. That's just how I feel. So, I would love to start promoting my stuff though, in other countries, just to see what kind of feedback I get. So, I gotta find my demographic. I'm still working on that. I just got 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which was just like a surprise. It just kind of came out of nowhere. So now I'm in when it's like you get to a certain tier. Once you get that, then you get more opportunities as a content creator. You don't just suddenly start making money. I wish it was that easy. So I'm still trying to figure out all of this stuff. But I do my videos and things because it's fun to me. But I'm at the point in my life where I want to transition away from doing the 9-to-5 jobs. I feel that spiritually, I've evolved as a person and spiritually as well, and I need to be in a certain type of environment. I feel that 9-to-5 jobs. Trying to find this Bigfoot image to show. When I first came to California, I remember people telling me that certain jobs, particularly security, working in fast food, those are good jobs for people that want to get into the industry because you can have a flexible schedule and stuff. And being a security guard was never like a career goal for me, but it was what helped me. I was able to pay for my projects and keep a roof over my head and pay for food and all that stuff. So it's definitely been great. But sometimes I feel like I've been in security like maybe a little bit too long. So it's just time for me to evolve and into I want to work in the industry. And so I got to figure out a way to make that happen. And that may be something that will be happening sometime this year or next year. It's a process because I just want to get my stuff out there and make a name for myself with my comics, with my cartoons, my films. All these things are what I want to do. I have so many pictures on my iPad. I don't know where. I got to find this file and just move it to where I can just find it. I don't have to scroll for hundreds and hundreds of pictures. I wanted to show what my version of Satchwatch looks like because it doesn't look like, it's not what you're used to seeing. For one thing, my Satchwatch has a mohawk and he has tattoos all over his body. And he also has armor. He's partially armored. Yeah, I'm not gonna find this thing, man. I don't know where the hell I did with this. I do have a Facebook profile under my Sons of Legend where I tend to post a lot of my work. I need to get more. I need to do that more often because I kind of slacked off on it. I've been working on a website, and I had actually paid a company to start work. It was a lot of money, and I need to go back and have them finish the website so that it can become. What they want to do is create an was a web commerce site or something. Basically, I could have all my stuff there and just sell. I could sell my shirts, my Nerds with Badges shirts and hats. I can sell my comics and just promote stuff that I'm working on. I think it would be like a nice little hub where people could just check in and just get access. But it's not exactly cheap to do that. I wish that I had started working on this myself because they're probably 75% done with everything that they need to do with the website. So I just need to give them the rest of the money that I owe, and then they can activate the site, and I can start promoting it. And I know a lot of people use Amazon to. Oh, finally I found the image of Satchwatch. Jeez. This is my Satchwatch, my creation of Satchwatch. So Satchwatch and the Mythology Sisterhood, which is the name of the comic and the story, it revolves around Satchwatch, also known as Bigfoot or Hinto, teaming up with a group of women bounty hunters that have superpowers. And there's a war that's actually going to be happening. This character right here, his name is Scott. I actually shot a live action short with Scott. Scott is a young man who has pyrokinesis, power over fire, and he also has like some psychic abilities. Scott's girlfriend was abducted by Satchwatch or a Satchwatch. So Scott has built an army and declared war on the Satchwatch tribe or race. So this leads to a big confrontation, and superheroes end up getting involved. So I've got this really really big story, this big connected universe like Marvel and DC that I started many years ago, and I always wanted to have all of my characters come together in this big war epic thing. So this is, excuse me, my God. So this is my this is the catalyst. Satchwatch's situation. Scott, basically he creates a ripple effect that starts this big war with these mythical beings. And the name of my company, I don't know if I mentioned it before, is called Cryptid Cookout Productions, and my logo is actually Bigfoot at a grill flipping a burger. I've been fascinated with cryptozoology and Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, the Mothman, all that stuff, aliens, Area 51. I've been fascinated by all this stuff. So I thought it was appropriate. I just got some stories too. I'll talk more about that later. I cannot believe I've been talking for like 30 minutes. Really, I just want to talk about what's been going on and just kind of talk about Demon Ex Machina and Kronos. And I would like to, in future episodes, talk about some of my knowledge, different. One of my cinematographers who has worked with me on my Nerds with Badges episodes, he's like, Sergio, you got a lot of knowledge about a lot of these TV shows and movies and stuff, and you should talk about all this stuff. So I have Peacock, and I've actually been watching $6 Million Man episodes. Peacock has like a lot of older stuff that I grew up watching, and I think a lot of the stuff this generation probably don't know about, and a lot of stuff is being remade. But I think a lot of the older stuff that there's a lot of really good stuff out there that people don't know about. So I do have like a lot of knowledge about some of these things, and I like talking about it, and people like hearing about it. And a lot of the stuff that I grew up watching, like I said before, is being remade. I mean, Highlander is getting a new movie. We've already had a Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie. $6 Million Man, well, they did a Bionic Woman remake some years ago. And Night Stalker, this scary show I used to watch, has been redone. Stuart Townsend. Basically, Night Stalker was like kind of like X-Files, but funnier. If you have never watched Night Stalker before, you should definitely check it out on Peacock. They even actually have episodes on YouTube, which I was surprised. They have full episodes on YouTube. But Night Stalker was Chris Carter, the creator of X-Files. He said he was inspired by Night Stalker, and he even had the actor show up in character on an episode or two of X-Files, and he kind of made a little remark about having to deal with supernatural stuff. I love when they do stuff like that. So there's a lot of like different things that I want to talk about. So I guess I gotta like do episodes and just devote to something. I mean, I've been reading a lot of comic books too. Like I want to talk about the Godzilla crossovers that Marvel has been doing. Godzilla fighting Thor, for example, when they killed each other, and aliens fighting the Avengers. Naruto fighting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Sonic the Hedgehog fighting Justice League. Justice League fighting Godzilla and King Kong, and Black Panther fighting Predator. Spider-Man fighting Predator. It's a lot of really cool, crazy crossovers and I definitely want to talk about that. But anyway, I got about 20 minutes before I start my shift. Jeez, I gotta wake up before I start my shift. So I'm out of here for now. But I'm just glad that I'm feeling better because like last few days I haven't really been feeling like talking about anything because I think when you have a cold, sometimes your motivation is just like you just want to do is just lay in bed or you just trying to get through the day. So anyway, I will hopefully sometime before the week is out, I will have my super cool Nerds with Badges episode, and I can talk more about as we get closer to the later end of the month, Comic Con LA, and what else I was gonna say. I got my brain. But yeah, I definitely want to get that episode out because I don't want to take too long to put out something. I don't want to film something and then bring it out a month later, that type of thing. So I will be back probably. Oh, I know what I wanted to mention before I go. Nintendo is supposedly doing a direct this week. Supposedly it's going to be on Friday. So we'll see. I don't know if it's going to have something to do with Mario's anniversary, if they're going to announce, maybe they'll show more of the James Bond game that's coming out. It would be nice if they did just announce a new Mario game just like out of nowhere. I mean, I think the Switch really has been doing really well, but I do think that it would be nice if we got at least one more really big first party game. I know Metroid is supposed to be coming later this year, I guess. But yeah, Mario, it'd be nice if we got another. I know Smash Brothers is probably years away, but a new Mario game would be awesome. Or maybe even a remake of Mario 64. I mean, like a complete remake with like today's graphics and stuff. I think that would just break the internet. So we'll see. But I'm out of here for now. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Nerds with Badges. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, share, comment, because feedback is good. It's nice to know that some people are actually watching, and it'd be nice to connect with people. And I will be doing some giveaways too. That's something I wanted to do, but I'll talk more about that in the future. I'm out of here for now. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll be back.